Hello world, and welcome to, or welcome back to, Aire's Art Journal, where we practice our various art techniques in an art journal before taking them to the canvas. My apologies about the blurriness in this take. I started this piece by taking various color pencils and coloring in streaks of color behind any paint I would put down on the page, thinking they would come through very clearly. However, I underestimated the clarity of the paint. Next, I sketched out some circles and odd shapes that I could use as bounding boxes to have irregular and regular shapes to contour my colors around. Starting with the circle first, I started with my black paint and layered my white paint on top of that, using several brushes to blend the two colors together, having to go back and get additional white and sometimes black paint as necessary. My brother has recently started taking a number of painting classes where he's been learning the true difference between acrylic and oil paints. He finally convinced me to test it out. Last time I was at our local craft store, I saw the oil paints were on reduced sale by about 75%. So I decided this was the universe's way of telling me it was time to try my hand at using oil paints for the first time since 4th grade. See, back in 4th grade, my mom signed me up for an oil painting class at the local Hobby Lobby because I was too young to join my older siblings at the day camp classes held at the community college. Long story short, I was the only child in the class, and all the other participants were adults. I had a little accident while painting a scene of a dolphin jumping out of the ocean. The teacher helped me with my little mishap and turned my white spill into a huge splash that really doesn't look like a mistake at all in the piece. But I knew, and it scared me away from trying to use oil paints to this day. Seeing all the pieces that I create with acrylic paint, my brother said I would most likely have an easier time if I started using oil paints, as I like to blend my paint directly in my pieces versus grabbing up the colors from my palette. So with this first oil paint test, I really wanted to try my hand at doing this with the white and black paint and create somewhat of a cosmic looking page in my art journal. I found that starting with the white paint first and then adding black in at the edge and backing the black into the base white let the results more closely to what I had envisioned in my mind, with the darkness of this particular piece being a little less prominent. After working with black and white for so long this morning, I decided I wanted to try blending a color with white on the palette. First time mixing two oil paints together, this proved a little more difficult than I had anticipated, and I might have to try my hand at this a bit more. But the resulting blue came out to be beautiful and an amazing addition to this piece. I sketched out some lines that this deep space look could contour around the regular and irregular shapes I had already placed into the piece. Colored in the darker areas, and then started to add my white to blend the blue into the background a little bit more. All in all, I would say that oil paint was a lot of fun to use in my art journal. Blending was a much more pleasant experience. I do think I'll need to invest in some paint thinners and oils that I can mix into the paints though. The oil paint dried on my paper very quickly, which made it difficult to blend the colors together. Further, the paint was so thick that it was difficult to see the pencil marks underneath clearly. Additionally, I think that the paint needed to be thinned out a bit anyways because the paint felt so thick after the piece dried for a week. Overall, cleanup was really easy with a little Dawn soap. I think I'll continue to play with oil paints in the future. I hope you enjoyed watching my art journal today and the thought process behind it. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye!